Hello. Time to close out August 2024 with CSS battles. These are August 30th and August 31st of 2024. Two pretty interesting shapes that would rely on circles and some angles, and so let's go for it. This guy, I think he's also like, I'm pretty sure this is circles at base. And so if I make a bunch of circles, so I think let's do the red circles first. I think that what I want is to create a variable with a petal, we'll call it a P, which is a radial gradient that's a circle. And then I need 6 of them, right? So circle, and then it's red, and then transparent. Now, when I put that on this background, var dash dash p, there it is, and it's a small one, 30 pixels, let's say. There it is. Now that's in the dead middle. Let's move it around and see if that will fit at the edge of these petals. So if I do minus 10 pixels or minus 20 pixels, minus 20 pixels, let's say. Minus 25, and then minus 15. And then how about 31? 30. So if it's 30, so let's move it again. 36, 16. Maybe. We're going to go on the presumption that it's a 30 pixel radius. So if the numbers ought to, because the center is at 50%, 50%, when we move it, we're moving it off of that axis. So in theory, these would be somewhat symmetrical. So yeah, so if I do a positive and then negative, and then do again, and then just do this one positive, positive, we get, and then so all the minus positive variations, almost. Do I already have that variation? Maybe not. So positive, positive. Oh, that's the same. I want positive, negative. Minus 40. Okay, what am I missing? Okay, going too fast. Okay, so that's what's one in the middle. So I want to go minus 26 pixels and then down 15 pixels. There we go. That's what I wanted to do. So then I need one that goes up and one that goes down. And well, I could do a repeat. I'm not going to. I'm afraid to, because then I gotta work with it a little bit more. I'm missing a comma, so I don't see anything. This is one of the shortcomings of CSS. It's somewhat brittle. So let's do that. 2, 6, 7, 8, 9, 30. And I think what that means is minus 30 on the y-axis will then do the other one. There it is. All right, then I need a little yellow bit in the middle. And I don't need a variable there. I need a radial gradient, which is a circle. I gotta spell circle right. Circle. And then this yellow. And then transparent. And commas between. So that's what I have now. Sort of a dust storm, a bee pollen dust storm. So let's do 10 pixels. 0. Which is too small. How about 15? 15 is it. And that's a lot of it. So then we got to choose how to do this line, and I'm going to go conic gradient because that is my habit. and it's a thin and tall. So we're going to go at 10 pixels, and then the default would be at 50%. So the center of the background, which is, so it's going to be, you know, half as tall as this. So at 10 pixels, comma, blue around 75%, and then green. And we ought to see that stem up in the top corner. So now we move it 200 pixels over and 100 pixels down. And, well, sort of. How about 200 pixels down? Oh, 140, 50. There it is. So that's kind of right, but not really. How about 190? 195, 6, 5, 4, 3. That's pretty good. So it's got to be wider. So this center point needs to be 12, 13, 14, 15 pixels wide. And let's submit that and find out if we've got a good win there. That is a win. Yes, those are all the pieces. Let's we can change this body to be an ampersand because we're not reliant on anything else. Minify, unit replace. I'm glad I went with 30 pixels and not 31. There might be a way to make 31 work. It might be close enough. The arc is similar enough to get past the Chromium backend that that CSSBattle.dev uses to verify these solutions. And this is a better score than I've gotten in the past, so that's kind of cool. All right, next, let's create this guy, which is an orange, pill lozenge color. I gotta make the first one, and I'm gonna do that by using margins. And it's gonna be asymmetric margins, 100 probably, and then 200, and then 0, and then like 100. Something like that. There it is. So I'm contorting the shape of that. I will need to use border radius to get the curves of the lozengeness correct. 8, 85, 60, 70, 89. Okay, and then this number is too high. How about 80, 70, 69, 68, 67. Okay. 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 50, 55, 56, 57, 110, 20. Is that 90 on the top? Maybe it's 90. 90, there it is. So now we do a border radius. And if the height is 120, I wonder if it's 30 pixels? 30 pixels will do it. Then we got to make 2 more, and we got to do stuff to them. So B and C. So typically what I do here is a transform. So a scale and a translate. So and now. So let's do translate. And that takes 2 parameters, so an X. So let's say we move it over that way, 60 pixels, and then up, minus 200 pixels. No, because I wrote D and not B. Here's B. There it is. And then rotate 60 degrees. Nope. How about minus 60 degrees? And I think it's a matter of having these numbers be correct. 110, 20, 30, 40, and then more. How about 300? 29. And then C is very similar. C. So there he is. little bit more, a little bit less, no, a little bit more, 10, 20, 30, 40. That's close, but not correct. 140, 42, 43, 45. So that's close, not quite right. 6. That looks right. That looks right. All right. So that makes this is probably 143. And then this number is 1. No, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 38, 37, 38. All right, let's submit that and see. And then we can make our optimizations around exactly how this 99.9%. So we are not there yet. Okay. What do we need? 37, 38, 39, 38. How about another pixel over? 4, 3, 2, 3.5. That's better. 37. Oof. 4. No, that's worse. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.5. Let's try that one. There's 100%, and I'm going to take it. I don't care how wonky these numbers are. This is hard. Okay, that's the real lesson. Is getting angular things or rotated things or anything circular aligned is tricky. So I'm going to translate into a variable. Translate var --t. I'm going to say 0, 0 as a default, and then I'm going to rotate of a var r for rotate. It should be a for angle. It doesn't really matter, but my brain says choose a good variable name. So these can be --a, great, and great, and then these can be --t. And then in theory, submitting that will have no change or difference whatsoever. We minify and we unit replace and we submit. And that is how we do that. Entirely fun. Thanks for watching along. That closes out August. I am above 90%. I'll be done with this backlog probably in the next few weeks, I would think. And I'll just be doing the daily CSS battles. Not sure what I've learned exactly from doing all these videos, but I enjoy it, and I hope you enjoy it too. Have a great day. Take care of yourselves. It is really rough out there. It is a really tough time for a lot of people. But go make a webpage, okay? It's fun. All right, bye-bye.